honey viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. So we have done an entire romantic compatibility series with the ENTJ for all the 16 MBTI types. So in this episode, we are going to do an extension. We're going to talk about the 4 most ideal business partners for the ENTJ. Of course, what makes a good romantic partner may not make a good business partner. So, which are the 4 MBTI types I think would be the ideal business partners for the ENTJ?
I'm looking for a partner, someone who gets things fixed.
Before we start, there are 2 disclaimers. First, these are my personal picks. Of course, another ENTJ would have picked a different bundle. A second disclaimer is that I am assuming that we have a 2-man startup. So what I mean is that if an ENTJ were to choose another partner and they do everything together, just find clients together or they just start up everything together, only the 2 of them, which is a good partner for the ENTJ. So I am going to choose 4 MBTI types and I'm going to rank them and give you an explanation why I choose this MBTI type and why they are given the rank. So right at number 4 would be the ISFJ. So the main reason why I choose the ISFJ as number 4 is because the ISFJ is SI dominant. So being SI dominant, this means that they will be much better than the ENTJ in doing paperwork, administrative work, research. But the ISTJ is also SI dominant. Why not choose the ISTJ? That is because the ISFJ have FE. So I assume that the ISFJ at this point have more contacts and friends. Given that we're going to do business, surely we need contacts and clients and leads. So I believe that in this regard, the ISFJ would be much better than the ISTJ in having leads. Assumption, okay? Assumption. So personally, I do know of a few ISFJs. They seem to have much wider contacts and they have more friends than the ISTJ. So this is why I choose the ISFJ. Of course, the ISFJ can also help to slow the ENTJ down, because when the ENTJ is very motivated, the ENTJ can go very fast, and sometimes fast means rash or impulsive. So the ISFJ can help the ENTJ to hold your horses. But of course, there is always a downside. The ISFJ may be very good at contacts and doing paperwork and such. There are a few flip sides, downsides. So one would be the ability to do paperwork actually is not a very valuable asset or very valuable talent or skill. You can easily outsource by employing a part-timer to do all this, right? Secondly, sometimes the ENTJ goes so fast that the ISFJ can feel very, very stressed. Then burst, leave halfway. That's a possibility. So just now I mentioned that the ISFJ has this ability to ground the ENTJ because of SI. However, sometimes when the ISFJ becomes so focused on SI, they can become really micro. When the ISFJ becomes too micro and the ENTJ becomes too macro, it is very hard for them to meet in the middle. Then the partnership may just disintegrate. Okay, let's move on to position number 3. I would say that is the INTJ. So if you have an INTJ friend, you know that the INTJ always gives good advice. The INTJ is a strategist. So in business, strategy is important. So when the ENTJ works with the INTJ, risk can be significantly reduced because the INTJ will think about risk and how to reduce them. Because on their own, the ENTJ can really take risks. Another good thing about the INTJ is that the INTJ can come up with step-by-step plans where they can execute together. So what could be the downside of this partnership? The INTJ relatively is still considered slow for the ENTJ. Another thing is, because both of them lack FE, if they are in the service industry, they might have a problem. So I foresee that the 2 of them can be business partners, but very soon they will need a marketing team. They will need people to do the sales. It's not going to be the INTJ or the ENTJ. ENTJ maybe can. INTJ? Not sure. Okay, moving up, we have number 2. That will be another ENTJ. Now, ENTJs and ENTJs, a lot of people might think that, hey, both of them will have difficulty working with one another because both want to be the leader, right? Well, the ENTJ is really very goal-driven and goal-oriented. So, the goal is to make business, not to be the leader. So, don't worry about this. So, the thing about power struggle will not happen. Now, what's so good about the ENTJ pairing in a business partnership? Now, let me explain to you. One ENTJ plus another ENTJ equals to 5 to 10 people. So the ENTJ is very efficient on his or her own. So in a day, I can finish 3 or 4 people's jobs. Really? So I personally can run so many errands, right, that I can finish the entire week of errands in a single day. So imagine how much 2 ENTJs can achieve together. So actually I was struggling between INTJ being number 2 or INTJ being number 3, but in the end I chose the ENTJ as number 2 because personally I don't really have much business acumen. So I think that when you are in a business, you just do it. So when you have another ENTJ, both of you have the drive to just push. If you fail, then you fail. It's okay. But of course, I think most businessmen or entrepreneurs may not want to think like that. They just want to make money, right? But don't they say that a lot of entrepreneurs have to fail a lot of times before they finally succeed? You need to really have the drive. So personally, I have been on a business partnership with a few people. None of them are the 4 ideal types that I mentioned. So a lot of the times, right, the business just died midway. So I would personally like it that it actually went out. Let's produce that thing, let's sell it, whatever the case is, let's open a shop. The ENTJ is very likely to just do it. So at least you started a shop and then you have this experience selling. So if you lose money, too bad lor. I think I'm screwed up in this sense. Another good thing about the ENTJ and the ENTJ is that with the 2 brains, they can think of solutions to counter things that might happen in a dynamic way. So whatever things that are unpredictable, unforeseen, the ENTJ can act on the spot. So this is a trait of the ENTJ. So they will maneuver their way through. Well, of course, because both ENTJs have SI as their blind spot, SI is not their strong suit at all. But that's okay, they can employ people to do admin for them. However, one thing I foresee about the ENTJ pairing for business is that both of them will struggle with the writing of SOPs, standard operating procedures. SI blind spot ma. So the ENTJ will understand that in order for the business to eventually upscale, they have to have SOP. However, personally as an ENTJ, I am very bad at doing SOPs. Okay, let's move on to number 1. I think the ENTJ's ideal partner for business partnership is the ENFJ. They are going to make a dynamic duo. So it never amazes me how many powerful contacts the ENFJ may have. So the ENFJ is a leader in their own right. So when the ENTJ comes with an ENFJ, they are going to work wonders. And because both are extroverts, both are going to act as well. Now the ENFJ obviously has an advantage over the ENTJ because they have FE. So I assume that they have much wider contacts, which can actually propel the business forward. The unfortunate thing is that both the ENFJ and the ENTJ may have SI as their blind spot. So the problem repeats again. Go and employ somebody lah, okay? Somebody to do the admin work. Well, do you agree with my picks? Fellow ENTJs, if you were to choose the top 4 MBTI types to be your business partner, the sole business partner, would you choose the same as me? Well, in an upcoming episode, I am going to do 4 MBTI types that should not be paired with an ENTJ for a business venture. So what would these 4 be? Watch out for it. So if you have enjoyed today's episode, do give us a like and do comment as well. If you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more ENTJ and MBTI and psychology. Okay, I'm going to sign off now and I'll see you in my next episode. Goodbye!